Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the btspodcasttz. I'm so glad we're doing this episode. I missed you guys. I hope you missed me too. Anyway, without wasting time, I've got a very interesting topic that I would like us to dive into. I've got some amazing ladies who are joining me on set. So let me talk about the topic and then I introduce the ladies to you. So what will we be talking about today? Is 30 or are 30s the ultimate age of expectation for women? Okay, I'm gonna go again. Is 30 or are your 30s the age of ultimate expectation for women? What we're gonna be unpacking here is je ule umri wa miaka 30 around your 30s hapo unahisi kwa mwanamke kuna pressure kubwa sana ya uwe umefanya mambo mengi kwako binafsi au umeachieve mambo mengi binafsi na katika jamii inayokuzunguka. So without wasting time, I'm gonna be joined by two ladies and I'll allow them to introduce themselves. But before we do that, I'm gonna introduce myself. I know you should be tired of me by now, but I'm your host, Makida Dallas, as usual. And I'm gonna be the two ladies. I'm gonna have Ilakhoze Nashon joining me on set and Lydia Kasese. Now, without wasting time, hi ladies.
Hi.
Introduce yourselves, please.
Thank you very much. My name is Ilakhoze Nashon. I am an entrepreneur, a business owner. I currently own iNash Inc. with a partner, and we deal with HR and business services for organizations. So we partner with different organizations to basically give them a hand up in some of the issues that they may encounter, whether it's HR or business, and some other businesses as well.
Yes. Amazing. And your handles on social media or LinkedIn?
Okay. On Instagram, I go by I_M_N_B. Yes. At that, and Facebook is Ila Nashon.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Happy to have you on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Karib sana.
Hey, Makida.
Hi, Lydia.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia Nyachiro Kasese, and I wear a number of hats. On the creative side of things, we just launched a creative writing NGO yesterday, actually, called Asusa Creative Writers Initiative, where we focus solely on creative writing, and we aim to, of course, empower Tanzanian creative writers. You can find us on social media as asusa.cwi. I also have a docuseries that I do called The Body Talks. And this is a series that's based on YouTube, and you could follow us on Instagram as The Body Talks TZ. So that's what I do on the creative side of things. And on the more corporate side of things, I work in the marketing field for an international agency. Thank you.
Nice. Simona yenyewe, I told you I've got some heavy ladies on set. So, you know what's interesting, I know this has come up kwenye conversations, in our circles, and how I arrived at this, I was like, is it me individually au unahisi kuna kila yani the male and the female gender both have got an age that you feel this, I'll be matured. Like growing up, you think 25, I'll be married with kids and nini. And then by 30, unasema, I'll be this way. So I want us to talk about our 30s. My first question would be, do you feel for a woman there is pressure in turning 30? If yes, unpack that a bit. If no, unpack that a bit.
Do you want to go first?
You go first.
Yes, there is definitely pressure for a woman in turning 30s or being in her 30s. But then again, I feel like there's pressure at every stage of your life, right? But the 30s are especially full of pressure because I feel like you're officially an adult, right? Like officially. Whereas in your 20s, it feels more like you're experimenting. But in your 30s, even expectations from your friends, your family, even yourself, they change. So there's external pressure, there's internal pressure, definitely, for sure. Yeah.
Interesting. What about you, Lydia?
I'll say yes and no. And I will say yes on the general, speaking generally, based on, everyone's women's experiences that I've heard. And then the no part is more for myself. So as Ela said, definitely the 30s are a high pressure time for a lot of women, right? Because you're expected to be married, and not just married, but married to a man who provides. But then also, actually, maybe in some cases, I've heard that it's better to be with a man who doesn't provide and who's useless than to actually be single.
Who said that?
I have heard that.
Who said that?
Count me
family
out.
relatives.
Count
Family
me out.
relatives, yes. Like, but the point is like the priority, the pressure to like have a man have, this family is quite high for women, and also having children, right? The biological clocks that's ticking, loudly within the 30s. So you get that pressure if you do want to have children to, start looking for ways around having children. For me personally, I don't think I felt any pressure turning 30. As I was saying, I do think that a lot of women tend to have pressure once they get to their 30s. But for me personally, I was lucky, and I'm still lucky that I don't have as much pressure as other women have. I think the pressure that I have is like 5%. And and this is because for me, from an early age, from my teenage years, I set the expectations already for my family and my parents. I was the child that everyone knew that, this one, I don't even know who's going to marry this one, So there were already those expectations for me. So like, I didn't really have any pressure of, anyone saying, oh, when are you getting married? At least not from my direct family members. External family members, yeah, but I don't really care about their opinions, So, yeah.
You talk about setting expectations within your family. How was that? Because I understand it can be very challenging in the African household or African family. So how did you manage that?
Especially at such a young age, right?
I should start by saying that I'm a firstborn. I'm a firstborn, and firstborns are known for being stubborn and rebellious. So I already had that running in my blood. So I will give an example of something that happened when I was a teenager. We were having lunch at home, and our mom always made sure that we cooked as the girls. We had people that would help around the house, but the cooking was always a family thing. And as kids, we had a duty rotating, right? And this one Sunday, it was my turn to cook ugali. To this day, I hate cooking ugali, by the way. It was my turn to cook ugali, and I cooked ugali. And me, to the best of my knowledge, I'd done a good job. Sasa tunapakua hapo mezani, people are dishing, and my father goes, what kind of ugali is this? Who cooked this ugali? Who's going to marry you? You're probably going to get returned home. Me, I was like, what? What do you mean who's going to marry me? First of all, you as my father, you're telling me who's going to marry me at this age. Secondly, are you trying to tell me that my worth as a woman is based on me being able to cook ugali? Everything else that I can do is nullified by the fact that I can't cook ugali. Yeah, and that's what I say to my dad. Ever since that day, no one talks to me about ugali.
Wow.
But it's having conversations like that, right? Like letting them know exactly where I stand with my womanhood, and that my worth as a woman isn't going to be tied to services I have to provide to another gender. Right. So yeah, basically just stuff like that. From that age, I was like already setting expectations.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You spoke about your dad. I also remembered something. My dad wouldn't be upfront about it, but then you did a shitty job with the food. He'll be like, and my mom will be the one who's calling me out. Hey, you'll never get married. And I'm like, whatever, mom. I'm used to you. Half of the time you're complaining. So I'm like, how mothers are strict. My dad will be like, but it's okay. Just reduce the salt a bit. Do this a bit. So I think it's very interesting how you took it up with your father. He was very upfront about it. And I think when you voiced out or spoke your feelings, he was like, this one is different. And imagine you spoke to your father like that. It means everybody else followed the tone, like, Lydia knows what she's doing.
I could never. I could never.
Marriage is there. My father will be like, yeah, but marriage is not, it's nice.
That's your mom. Your dad.
By my dad. They're like, no, marriage is nice, but it's not a goal. It's not an objective. Like, it's not an achievement that all your life should be tied to it, because you can lose yourself. Like, if it's good, I'm married, it's good. But I don't want you to feel like I'm giving you a lot of pressure, and then you walk into a wrong marriage. So I've always had that advantage. That's interesting.
Oh, I wish I could say the same.
I don't know if we're moving on, if I could just add on to that. But I think that's also very important, because I feel like a lot of women, especially because the pressure starts from like your 20s, right?
Yeah.
And you if you're unlucky enough to end up marrying the wrong person, or end up being yoked to the wrong person in your early 20s or mid 20s, it could change the entire trajectory of your life.
100%.
Absolutely.
If you listen to the pressures of other people and you decide to like get into a relationship because of pressure, it could ruin your life as a woman. And the older you become, the harder it is to recover. So yeah, man.
From my experience is slightly different than both of yours. And I'm actually surprised. I'm very surprised, especially by what you said your dad told you. Now, for me, we've never really had this conversation with my dad, but it's more of the pressures from the mom, right? The mom side, the mamam dogos, the mamam kubwas, right? And the only time I ever heard my dad asked about that, and he didn't ask me directly. He asked my mom. I think I was, early 30s? And he asked her, like, talk to Ila, like, ask her, like, so what's up? I haven't heard anything. Have you heard anything? Are you guys talking about this? Like, what's going on? So then my mom she came in, she asked me, like, so your dad is asking, like, what's going on? Time is ticking. And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. If someone shows up, we'll see. So yeah, I've definitely felt the pressure from family, but even from, I don't want to say friends, or like just the people who surround you, and they don't do it intentionally, right? Like they don't do it like directly, like, okay, Ila, we expect this, or when is this going to happen for you? But it's more of people feel like you're sort of like just wasting your time. You're just out here with no direction.
And especially Okanza could group out sasa.
Definitely,
kids,
yes.
married,
Yeah.
nini, you find that you feel like you're the odd one out.
I am the odd one out, because most of my friends, if not all, are married. So, and even within the family circle, you have cousins and cousin sisters who are married and they're younger, right? They're getting married and they're having kids, and they're like, and then your mom will pass and be like, "Ndogo kameolewa. You able to fanyaje?" So you're like, all right, okay, got it. Yeah, so
Interesting. It's so interesting how you were both Tanzanians, lakini how the different dynamics of the family play on the whole marriage thing and the 30s thing. Interesting. Now, did you expect to feel different when you turned 30? Because I see a lot of 30s, there's a big photo shoot, a big party, a huge thing. And I'm like, is it a milestone?
Dirty 30s.
Dirty 30s. Welcome to third floor. First, raise your hand if you did a photo shoot. I did the whole shabang, 3 outfits of
Really?
sis.
I love that for
Sis.
you.
And I was like, the next morning, I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Like I was so excited about it. And that's why I'm asking, did you feel different? Did something change? Did something change individually, how people treated you? Because I think for me, I did a whole photo shoot. I had the whole makeup, the whole hair, 3 outfits.
Wow.
Shoot, nini. Post on social media with a mature caption.
Right.
And you end it with a quote from the Bible. Psalms, da 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 da. The Lord has provided. And I just remember after the day, because it was a long day, shoot, you go out. And then the next day I woke up and I was like, is this 30? I felt like it was yesterday and I just did a photo shoot. So I was like, what did I expect? Like, what did I expect? People to bow at my feet? People to, oh, Gary, you're 30. How was it for you? Did you did you expect to feel different? What was the hype?
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't actually even remember. I don't remember. Like it came and went like a blur, but I remember the feeling of anxiety heading into that stage. Because I'm also a firstborn, by the way, and I'm definitely not rebellious. I can tell you that. I'm more peacemaker, right? I'm more of, listen, let's talk about it. Let's discuss it, right? I would like for you to see my side and let's talk about it. That's more me. And if you're not following, then I'll find a way to deal on my own. But I definitely felt the anxiety heading into that stage of life, the third floor, like you said, thinking like, so what now? What's going to happen from the work aspect of it, right? I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. What am I doing? The thing I studied for, I'm nowhere near that. Work, life. So I felt anxiety. I was not excited at all. There was no excitement anywhere. There was no photo shoot, nothing. I just wanted it to come and go quietly as possible.
Interesting.
Yes, I did none of that. Yeah.
What about you?
You know, when I was coming here, I was like, I actually don't remember what my 30s were, like that period. But as she was talking, I was like, oh my gosh, I remember. I had a lot of anxiety. And I had a lot of anxiety because I never thought I'd get to 30. You know, I never thought I have mental health issues. Okay. Yeah. So I never saw myself getting to 30. And so when I got to 30, I realized I wasn't living my life like someone who wanted to be here or someone who was going to be here, you know, whether it was on a financial level. So in terms of like saving for my future, you know, planning for my future, or, you know, from like a health level, like taking care of myself. I was just like, oh, wow, like I'm here. And like, I'm here, I'm still here. You know, it was a wake up call for me to like, hey, you're still here. You need to act like it. You need to set things in place for you that will allow you to live life comfortably and exist comfortably for however long you're going to be here for, you know? So I think that's that after 30, 31 and above has been great. Like I've been, you know, like I don't work for the whole week during my birthday. I'm like, it's my birthday week. Let me have a good time, you know. But like that, like turning 30, that was difficult for me as well. Yeah.
It's interesting how the dynamic shifted. You thought you're not even going to go past your 30s, and then you ended up enjoying your 30s.
Girl,
didn't
I
even
love my
envision
30s.
it.
Like, yo, guys, like my 20s were the pits. And I will say, guys, like if you're having any issues, like therapy, therapy for me, my therapist was telling me, because I met her in my early 20s and I'm in my 30s now, and she was telling me that if she could testify about how therapy works, she would use me for it, because like it saved me so much. It saved me so much. And so like also coming into my 30s, because I'd put in the work with therapy throughout my 20s, I was at a point in my 30s where also I was and am on medication that also helps, you know. So my 30s found me at a place where I was on the right medication that allowed my hormones to not like, you know, that stabilized me in my head. But also therapy gave me the tools to deal with situations, everyday situations, right? So the things that I'd experienced now that would have offset me in my 20s are not offsetting me in my 30s anymore. The things that would upset me, or like I would take them to be such a big deal, my world is ending, in my 20s. Now, like, you know what? It's life. You know, like things come and go. Like things are up and down. Like not everything is perfect, you know? And also like, sorry, I don't know if I'm... Okay. Also like just reminding myself that we're all here for the first time. You know, we're all here for the first time, and giving yourself grace. Like we're all, each and every single one of us is just doing our best. We're all making it up as we go. Like no one knows everything, you know. So yeah, like those are the things, like when I turned 38, those are like my realizations for me. Yeah.
That's nice. You know, one thing that you spoke about and the light bulb went off. I think it's important also, people need to understand how they should look at therapy. They're giving you the tools to be able to navigate better, for you to be able to do a better job, live better. Because I think people are looking at therapy in the sense of, I'm going to look for answers.
Or that something is wrong with you, or there's like coming from a shame aspect of it. Yeah, there's like a lot of shame surrounding that topic, that aspect of seeking help. It's like, come on, malaria. Kwanini usitafute panadol umeze?
Kwanza kwambia mtu anaenda therapy anasema magonjwa ya kizungu hayo.
Exactly.
We already identify as a diaspora.
Yes.
And it's weak to go to therapy. I think whoever planted that seed kwa Tanzania needs to rewrite that book quick, fast, minus slow. Kwa sababu this thing, people are going through
a lot.
Shitloads.
Yeah, a lot.
And it's okay to look for help, but don't go expecting kwamba au mtu anaenda therapy afa nakwambia haijanisaidia. Then once you start to unpack, you understand kwamba huyu mtu ameenda pale aka-expect atapewa majibu ya matatizo yake. No. You should actually do the work. There's a lot of work that you need to do in therapy to be a better person. But I think that's very interesting. And I think I encourage a lot of ladies, because I know the confusion that comes from 20s navigating to 30s. You might not have a figure, whether a female figure or a male figure, that will help you through it. I think therapy is like a good stepping place, because you have somebody who doesn't know you, doesn't judge. Kwa sababu wengine wetu wanasema nikienda kwa shangazi atanipa ushauri wa, kwa sababu unajua pia unaenda shangazi wa mama mdogo anakuambia twende kwenye maombi, you know, ngoja uende kwa fulani au twende ukasomewe, and you're like, I didn't want religion to be part of this. It's good, but I want somebody ambaye ataangalia this without looking from a family perspective, no ties, and you can be quite honest about it. So that's an interesting thing. Okay, you ladies have a lot of I'm listening and I'm like, let's talk about the list of unspoken rules when you turn 30. Expectations. You're expected to be this. I want you guys to tell me 2 things that really annoyed you. It really annoyed you. Lydia, you're going to kick marriage straight. You're going to jab at marriage.
That one.
I feel like, isn't that almost all of us though? The marriage aspect of it, right? Like, and okay, don't get me wrong, right? I think marriage is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. It's a very lovely institution, right? If you get it right. However, my issue with it is that it becomes part of your identity. People want to make it part of your identity in the sense that as a woman, if you reach a certain age and you have not ticked that off your checklist, right? You're incomplete. It's like you're not done cooking yet, right? They're still like, so what's happening? But I'm like, I'm a complete human being. I am complete. My identity is intact. To me, it feels like marriage is more of a bonus to life, right? If you get it right. It feels like it should be like a bonus, like you're adding someone into your life who is going to add value to your life, rather than if you don't have that, then clearly something is wrong with you, something is missing in your life, and you're just incomplete. And it's everywhere, right? So definitely, yes, the marriage thing, but also, I guess carrying yourself in a certain way, right? There are certain expectations of how you should be or how you should be in public, right? For me, those are the two things that I can say that definitely, the unspoken rules that definitely grated on my nerves. Still do to this day.
Still do.
Still do.
For me, marriage, but also children. I thought of this one thing that I want to share with you guys. With my Bajaj driver, I used to have a Bajaj driver that used to like drive me, and we used to have like all sorts of interesting conversations, and like people are so interesting. So obviously, like he knows me, he knows my lifestyle, you know. And one day he's just like, why don't you have a child? Like you have all of this money and you've got no one to spend it on, huh? Why don't you have a child so you have money to spend? You know, you have someone to spend your money on. And I'm like, what makes you think I don't have one who I'm spending my money on? Like my money has good use.
I could be so triggered.
Right? I'm like, my money is serving me.
You could have told him, why don't you have a car?
Right? Well, he has a child that he's not even taking care of. Like he doesn't even live with the child.
Wow.
And he was like, I'm like, you men, you just want us to have children just so we can have, you're not even there to support, you know? And for me, just, so back to marriage as well. I feel like I love the idea of marriage. I think when you find the right person, it's a beautiful thing. I am thankfully with someone who's, you know, I think is a good person. It's a very beautiful beautiful a relationship, and something like that for me is worth, you know, going into. But also it's only worth it because there is give and take. There is no leader in the relationship. There is no, you know, the person who runs the like it's an equal relationship. We listen to each other. Everyone's thoughts, everyone's opinions is valued. Even when we're having an altercation or an argument, it happens with kindness, right? The pressure of marriage is something that bothers me so much because oftentimes the pressure pushes women into marrying, into making the wrong choices. You know, you get with someone, you don't get enough time to know the person, you know, or even sometimes you see red flags, but you're like, I could fix this person, you know, I could change this person. By the way, you can never fix someone. Someone can only change when they want to change. An external person can never change whatever is happening. You know,
even personal change is hard, right? Like even when you know that I need to change this aspect of myself, right? I know full well that I'm unhappy with this aspect of my life, so I want to change it. Even that is hard.
It's hard.
It's really hard.
Now imagine changing somebody else.
Yes, changing someone else.
Yeah.
It's hard.
And so, yeah, like that really frustrates me. And not for myself, for other women, because I hear situations of women that are in terrible situations and they can't get out because not only are they tied to this person, but they're also financially dependent on this person. And that's another thing. Like, women, find your money, guys. Please. Please. Like, money is nice.
The famous quote? the world is cruel to a poor woman.
Exactly.
The world is
absolutely
cruel.
cruel.
You'll find yourself in very tough situations and you'll have to hang in there in the name of financial freedom or I don't have a choice. And I feel like having your own money gives you a sense of freedom, even within a situation, a relationship, or a marriage, because you know, I can start over and it is fine. I think a lot of people are stuck and they know like, I'm not willing to be uncomfortable in this situation, but that's key. That's key.
But like, so for me, when it comes to the pressures of not only getting married, not only getting the right man to marry you, but also marrying well, marrying up, right? So there's like layers into that. There's like so many layers.
They will come for you in the comments.
Please
don't come for Ela in the comments. She's preaching the truth.
But yes, so there is one, it's you got to get married. You got to get married to the right man. You got to marry up.
Yep.
For us Christians, he has to be a good Christian, church-going, God-fearing man, right? This man has to love you and worship the ground you walk on. He's got to take care of you and your family.
He's got to have coin.
So there's a lot. It's like it's a layered thing. But if I peel back why it is the way it is, I would say that it comes from the previous generations, so our moms, right? And their moms. And we also have to remember that at that age, women were not liberated in the sense of women were not breadwinners. Women were not out here looking for coin. Right? So I remember specifically my mom telling me that her experience was that by the time she reached 17, 18, her mom was putting pressure on her. Like, you're getting old, my daughter, you're getting old, you need to get married, So my mom was married by the age of 21, if I'm not mistaken. So there was the pressure of you have to get married because it was almost like looking for a job. Like, you have to seek financial security because women were not necessarily working out there. Very few, if I can be honest, like I feel like very few women then, like in the early 80s, were out here working like that. So there was a lot of seeking financial security. So I think that's where that comes from. Yeah.
So I know tumeongelea sana on those pain points, imekuja marriage, kids. But I know also turning 30 or in your 30s, there's a certain way you might see yourself differently. Maybe you've progressed or you're still in the same space, but I want to move in the workspace professionally. How was the pressure there? How did you handle it? Because I feel like my personal take is with 30s, a lot of expectation comes from the family. They expect you to have a certain title. And usually you find even if you're 4 siblings, like the entire, you and your brothers, sisters, unless you're an only child, and then you find maybe some of them have got titles, jobs that are higher than you. There's a certain, I've seen, it doesn't, to my family, not a lot, I can say. Sometimes you can see there's a favorite, the one with with more coin. You can feel it like, why is he being asked if he's been eaten? We're all on the table. Those small things. But I feel there's a certain pressure that comes with it. You'll find your relatives anakuuliza, uko wapi siku hizi? Maana najua utakuwa bosi. And you're like, why would you assume? Why would you assume? So how does that look like in 30s? Was there pressure in your career, professionally? Did you envision yourself being somewhere? How did that transpire?
Okay, so I realized I had something to prove, and I had something to prove to my father.
See?
And I literally, like, as soon as I got out of university, I just yes, I was just chasing. And by the time I got to that, I was like, wait, hold on. Who am I doing this for? I mean, I'm glad that, he didn't put any pressure on me. The pressure was more on myself, based on what expectations I thought he had of me. All right. And based off of that, I mean, I'm glad that the pressure took me to the places and the positions I was able to get. But like now where I'm at past my 30s, I think I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't need to chase anymore. It's also okay to like find a place that you're comfortable in. But also that realization made me also now start to question myself. Like, okay, you've been doing all of this to prove a point to your dad. Now that you're done doing that, what is there for you? What do you want to do now? Like what do you want to do for the rest of your career? What is important for you? What milestones are important for you? And that's something that I've been working on. Yeah. There's also something else that I wanted to say. Can you repeat the question?
It's like in your work.
I remember something else.
Career-wise, yeah.
The other thing that I also wanted to say is something that has helped me in my career is learning to trust my team members as well. Because I think naturally I'm a person who likes control. I like control. I like controlling situations. I like controlling the outcome of situations. And I think a huge part of my 30s has been letting go of control and just letting things happen. Because also, like, what's the worst that could happen? I'm not going to die, So yeah, also just like learning to trust people and giving room for people to show me what they can bring to the table, as opposed to like, trying to control what they're doing and like overseeing everything that they're doing. Yeah.
That's nice.
For me, I didn't experience external pressure of that in terms of career-wise. And honestly, I can say that I'm really proud of my parents in the sense that they kind of just let me figure it out on my own. There was never really any like, so we want you to become a doctor. We want you to become this. We want you to become that. There was never even a conversation about that. I don't remember having that conversation with my parents, and they just let me figure it out on my own. And I've been curious throughout my life in terms of work. I've worked in so many industries, trying to figure out like what works for me, what makes me full of joy and all that. So I didn't experience external pressure, but I have experienced internal pressure, right? Because mtoto wa kwanza, I'm a firstborn. So
unaangaliwa. When daughter sets the tone for your siblings.
Yes, and I do have a younger sister, but also of course kibongo bongo, even other watoto wa mama mdogo nini wadogo zako wanakuangalia wewe. So that built up an internal pressure for me, right? But also just wanting to really succeed and curve out my own path, like. Yeah, so I think that's the internal pressure is what brought me to building Einash Inc. Yeah.
Nice. I think there's also a lot of peer pressure.
Yes.
Tena saivi, the ones who are turning 30 right now, LinkedIn. I'm proud to announce, if we felt it and now LinkedIn is on the peak of everybody's achieving something. But there was always that you find everybody's path is different.
Yeah.
And then when you hit 30 in your 30s, you feel like this should be it. I should be somewhere.
Yes.
With a number of people reporting to me, I should be this way, I should be. But growth looks different. I think for me, it hit me like growth looks different. Everybody's path is different. Instead of comparing yourself, look at how far you've come. Because that gave me clarity in a way. Because when you hit that and you're like, oh shit, I just graduated college like some years ago. I've come a long way. And you really realize that you've learned a lot, you've picked a lot, but doesn't necessarily mean the achievement of a certain title, sitting somewhere in one of the top 3 companies in because I think there's a lot that comes with that.
Yeah.
And especially when you come from, I know Tanzania, there are certain tribes, like North and Zone, the Bukoba and what, where it's people are very, education is something that
my family, my dad.
yes, you have a lot of achievements. Like, yes, you have a degree and a master's and a PhD.
Then
and
what?
what are you doing? So you start feeling that pressure because then you check, maybe you just have your bachelor's and you've got your cousin who's on finishing their masters and doing something somewhere. And suddenly that conversation in a family gathering becomes different. You finished your masters. That's really good. But you're the one who's being addressed. So how's that? Yeah, that's really good at 30. Oh wow, you're really going places. And you're like,
but they're
how
really
am I
talking about you.
supposed to feel? Exactly. There's a lot of pressure that comes with that.
Hilarious.
So for me, it made me realize like growth looks different. This is okay. There are people who are not where you are. There are people who are further than you. There'll always be somebody who's doing better than you. So I might as well enjoy. Yeah. So we haven't talked about relationships though. Hitting 30 and the ball has dropped. Maybe your friends are married. Maybe you're married or you're single. Did that give you clarity? Because in your 20s, you're not sure. I want a tall, dark, handsome. They're more physical. Ticks, check. At 30, how's the relationship? Apart from the pressure, did you get more clarity? How was that shift?
Yes. For me, I think the older I became, the wiser I became, of course, because of... I'm trying to figure out how much I should share.
Share.
So for me, my early 20s, man, I was out here. I loved life, One of my friends called me a serial dater. Me, I love, guys. Like, no matter how many times you break, my heart gets broken. Like, I don't know, man. Like, being in love feels nice. Like,
Yes,
those
it
hormones,
is.
those endorphins, whatever they're called,
It does.
plug me into those things.
Like, get me in there.
Right? Like, I love that so much. I love love. And, like, no matter how many times my heart gets broken, I'm always like, yeah, for sure. Like, I don't give up because, one person hurt me. But also because I dated a number of people, I had relationships with a number of people, I started to know what I wanted and what I didn't want, And the older I became, the quicker I was to pick up red flags, the quicker I was to be like, okay, these are the things that I do not want. So for example, something as small as littering, by the way, I can't be with someone who litters because if you don't care about the environment, you don't care about yourself, you don't care about me.
Wow.
So I need you to give a fuck about the environment. So if you're littering and you already there, I can't do that. But also, yeah, so like getting into my 30s, I was more cognizant about what I wanted in a partner. I think one of the most important things to me and still is one of the most important things to me in a partner is kindness, right? Kindness to yourself, kindness to the people around you, kindness to the environment. And the environment is a very important thing for me in my life. I think sometimes we go through the world and we're in the environment, we don't really take time to acknowledge the world that we live in, but also like someone who is kind to the world, who takes care of the world they live in, the world around them. Those
Speaks
are things
volumes.
Exactly, speaks huge volumes. And so, yeah, for me, like, and the relationships I had, the last 3 relationships I had, including the one I'm in right now, have literally been the best relationships in my life because all the men I dated, they were very thoughtful men. They were very kind men. Even the way the relationships ended, the last 2 ended because of distance, but like they were all very respectful. Yeah, so definitely like for me in my 30s, my relationships got better because I was older, I was wiser, and yeah, I was able to just see through men's bullshit real quick. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, yes. To second off what she said about becoming wiser with age, for sure. For some of us, it was a little slower to get to where she got, right? And realizing that um, first it's internal happiness, and then someone else to add to you, right? For me, that has come in the later stages of my 30s. So it took me a while to okay, it's like so there's the general of like, yes, I want someone who cares about me. I want someone who is kind. I want someone who is this and this and this. So like theoretically, right? You know this is the type of person you should you should be with. Putting that into action and actually living that is a whole different ballgame. And and it's unfortunate, or maybe it's not, I don't know. But like whenever we meet people, whenever you meet someone, right, you're obviously putting your presenter forward. And he is doing the same, right? You always want to put your best version, the best version of you forward. This is the person that you want to meet, this really cute, handsome guy, right? And he's doing the same. And when you're falling in love, it's hard to recognize. It's hard to pick up on certain things. You may even see something and you may not even realize it's a red flag, right? And of course, this terminology has become more popular now, but like for us who have been dating for a while, it's hard, and sometimes red flags don't come waving like, hey, see me, red flag, right? It's subtle, it's quiet, it's silent. And by the time you realize it's a major red flag, you're like 2-3 years in, so, but also the thought of starting over, honestly, for me, yes, I commend you. Like, I don't know how you did the whole serial date. For me, it's exhausting because putting yourself out there and being vulnerable and open to receiving someone, right? It's exhausting. Like once you've done that a few times, you're just like, I gotta do this again. Like I did it. I feel like I should be, but I gotta do it again. What's your favorite color? Honestly, I cannot take that question one more time. Like
people are still asking that?
Yes, people are still asking that.
Come on, guys.
I'm telling you, we're still being asked what's your favorite color, right? But
you expect somebody to pick up like know you already and pick up just, not the basic questions.
Not even expecting them to know you, but just after you've done that, however many times, you've been on however many dates with however many people, and you've had similar conversations with different people, and it's just like, again, what do you do? What do you? It's to me personally, it's exhausting. So, yes, with age, definitely came wisdom to pick out certain qualities that wouldn't work for me quicker, right? So now I'm more of, if he's saying this, then it probably means this. Like if he's acting like this, then it probably means he's this type of person, right? Like you were mentioning the whole someone who litters, right? Like it's a simple thing, it's a small thing, but it's so much bigger when you look at it from the perspective of, if you generally don't care about the environment that you're in, how can you possibly care about yourself? And if you don't care about yourself, how can you possibly care about me? So the wisdom to pick up on certain things quicker, yes, I'm very much appreciative of that I've gotten to that place where I'm like, No, that's not going to work. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. Yeah.
I wanna
Interesting.
add on to something that you said early on about like being fine with yourself internally. I think that's really, really important because for me, looking back at my 20s, there were some relationships I found myself in that I've erased from the history of my
You guys
relationships.
also do
But it
that?
doesn't count.
girl,
If you
Like-
was under the age of 30, it doesn't count.
right?
He's a cousin.
Selective amnesia.
He's a cousin. All right? He's a cousin. It doesn't count.
It doesn't count. So yeah,
He's a cousin. All right? He's an
Yeah.
extended family member right now. It's not an
Definitely
ex.
doesn't count. So yeah, I was saying like, because I wasn't good within myself, I was also like attracting a certain type of people. You know, I was attracting also about the porth addictions. I don't do porth addictions anymore. This could be alcohol, this could be cigarettes, this could be like if you're dependent on anything and you haven't, figured out why you're dependent on that, I'm not doing that work with you.
Yes.
Come to me healed or
Yes.
come to me healing. Don't come to me with no work done. But yeah,
Yes.
if you've done the inner work on yourself, it also becomes easier to spot red flags, and if you haven't done that, it's so easy to find yourself in relationships that reinforce the negative stuff within you, because I remember there's one person I was seeing and we had good times. Like he wasn't a bad person.
Right.
We had good times, but like every time he left, I was just feeling shitty. Like my energy just felt like, ugh. Like I was just like, what are we doing? Like, what am I doing? I found out other things later, but like I realized that if I was in a better state within myself, I would have been able to pick up on these things. Me waking up in the morning and feeling some type of way was my body telling me that, hey, something about the situation, we're not happy about this. So yes, I just wanted to add that on like listening to yourself and like being sure of yourself first. Yeah.
Another thing is what I also figured is, let's say I'm to date again. I wouldn't go in my 20s. I had an open mind, or I can meet somebody anywhere, and then if we click and the vibe is right, let me see. But I think in my 30s, it was more definitive in a way that you must fit into spaces that speak to me. You must fit into things that I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Like it made me very particular. Because the thing is, if you're all over, you get somebody who you're not even compatible. You start unlearning, doing this, doing that. Some things that you even fit in are not even part of things that you enjoy doing. So for me in my 30s, it gave me clarity into it's not just a relationship. We must click on some things that I already enjoy doing. So it cleared a lot of bullshit. like it's definite, no, this I'm not doing. This I'm not doing. And also a healed person. I was very particular on that. I also don't, because I know it's either I go, if it's a substance or anything, I don't have average. Like I know that about me. It's either I don't do it or I go overboard. The risk with that is if you get a partner who has got an addiction or a dependency or something, while they feel they can control it, like functioning alcoholics, as an example, I go overboard. And just like that, I become an addict.
Exactly.
I feed off energy and then maximize it.
I'm
So
like
I
that
was
as
like,
well. Yeah.
yes, I don't have a balance. So for me, that's why I don't try stuff. I know I can easily go over the fence. I'm not joking. So in my 30s, I was very particular. Do you have any addictions? Do you have anything that you need to work on? No, I'm not going to be part of that because you're going to take me down with you.
Exactly.
Are you in spaces that I show up in? Do these things that I enjoy matter to you? How do you think about this? I was very particular. And faith was top of that list. I wanted somebody who was spiritual in whatever that means. That doesn't mean you must necessarily be a Christian or a Muslim, but I wanted somebody who had faith and will believe in a higher power. Because I think in my 20s, I was like YOLO. I think I was considering, I never thought about we could die. Like, I know that sounds weird, but I thought we're here.
Yeah.
We're here.
We're here. We're out here.
And then losing some friends also. I lost a friend in college.
Yeah.
It's sort of the coin dropped. And I was like, oh shit, life is, valuable. So that's just something that I wanted to add on. Yeah.
For me, I feel like I've always been very secure in who I am. I don't
Your
easily,
identity.
yeah. Like I like this. I don't like this. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out.
That's a very
It's
good
okay.
thing.
You want to go out, and that is okay. You can leave me at home. You can come back and tell me about your night and whatever. But like, I've always been very set in I am me, and this is where I'm at. And I definitely appreciate that, because I can see being easily swayed and influenced, and then suddenly you are down a road that you're not supposed to be at.
And everybody can circle back except you.
Exactly, bro.
You're struggling for the rest of your.
Yeah.
You don't know how you got there. You know, most people in
Yes.
addictions have been driven or brought into it by somebody else.
Of course.
And then you can't just shake it off.
It's never something you
Very
aspire
few.
to.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
That's a good thing. I think if you're very particular and you're not easily influenced, it's a very good thing. Okay. Now, learning stuff. Now you're in your 30s. I want you to tell me about something from your 20s. That in your 20s, ulikuwa unakiamini, yani ile ulikuwa unasema, this is it. But in your 30s, you're like, something went off. You unlearned it.
No.
It can be anything. Now it feels you're more aligned, you're more you. But it's something that if your 20-year-old was to be told by your future self, they'll be like, I don't know what you're smoking, sis. Something that you're like, I unlearned this.
Should I go? Go ahead. Okay, so for me, straight on, marriage and children. Like, people that have known me for years, like, I wasn't about that life. Me, I was here for a good time,
That's so true. That is so true.
Yeah. I was never like marriage, being a wife, so you having children. Like, that was never my cup of tea. That was never my cup of tea. But that
I knew you through your 20s and it wasn't. She'd literally say, no kids, no marriage. I'm done.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I was quite happy with that. And even if I end up that way, I'm still happy. But I think what changed for me is that I have met people in my life that have changed that for me. They have showed me the value of that, in the sense of they are people I trust them enough to. My partner, let me just say, my partner is someone that I trust enough to see myself walking that path with. He has shown me enough. In fact, more than enough. Even things I didn't even know I wanted and needed, to make me feel comfortable enough to take that path. And by the way, marriage and children is something that he wants. Me, I'm okay cohabiting and being in a long-term partner. Yeah, but he's like me personally, like the way our family is set up, marriage is important to me, and also having children within a marriage, not out of that, is important to me. And for me, it's like, okay, I mean, it doesn't bother me, I guess. So yeah. So yeah, that's what has changed for me. Yeah. It's a surprise, and this change wasn't an overnight change, by the way. It's been like I've thought about it for like at least a year. I put thought into it. I put thought into our relationship, what our family dynamics look like, his family, my family. And I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. I see.
So if he proposes, we're getting a yes?
He asked me that 2 days ago, actually. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Ila?
So many things. So many things I am still unlearning. but I will speak on one: love, specifically the romantic love. There was this unrealistic fantasy that I had in my 20s, even early 30s. Let me be honest, right? Where it's these movies we watch and these books we read, right? That this person must come in this certain package. He must do these things, these grandiose things from the beginning. Aje akunulie magari na kulipie rent. Like, you know what I mean? Like these unrealistic expectations we have on these men who are also just trying to make it out here. They're literally also struggling on a pambana so that they can also make it. They're still trying to figure out life as well, right? And then you have this unrealistic expectation of this poor boy who now when you're able to figure it out and you expect him to come in here and be like, flowers,
be at
jewelry,
your feet, my queen.
money, utakaela kupaela za vocha wala kila siku, you know, laki tano. Unrealistic. Anaitoa wapi o laki tano? Where is he getting this money from? You know what I mean? So I've had to unlearn that, and it was purposeful, right? It was intentional that, okay, first of all, that's not realistic. That's not how life is. Because if I'm out here struggling, trying to make ends meet, right? What about him? Right? He's also struggling and trying to make ends meet, right? Yeah. And the danger of finding someone who has already made it. Now, it's a good thing, right? And for most of us women, maybe, it's something we can even aspire to, right? Kwamba, you want someone who he's been through it all. He's done it. He's struggled and he's made it, right? He's comfortable. He may not necessarily be super rich, but, you know, he's okay. He can spend a few on me, 20 Zanzibar raka, you know, for the weekend. But the danger of falling for someone like that or finding someone like that is that they've already been through those struggles and you can come and go. You know what I mean? Like,
you're replaceable.
Yes.
Very replaceable.
The beautiful thing about working on something together or building something together is that you've both added to that thing. Right? It's yours, right? Even if the relationship doesn't necessarily work out, but it's something you've built together versus unamkuta mtu na majumba yake na magari yake na biashara zake or career zake, whatever the case may be, and you find a place to fit in, right? Whereas you can easily just come and go if you haven't added anything to that success. So for me, it was unlearning that romantic relationships only look a certain way. And for me, I want to say the one of the reasons why I was unrealistic, right, was basically where I grew up and how I grew up, right? This unrealistic thing of he must sweep me off my feet. Ah, man.
Princess treatment,
queen treatment. Where? Wapi? Ni wangapi hao? Yani, how many of these men are there in this small Dar es Salaam? So I've had to unlearn that romantic relationship can come in different forms. You just have to be open to receive. And even look past certain exterior things of, you know, the man. Yeah.
Love it.
I wanna add on to her because my problem was completely the opposite, right? Something that I had to unlearn was letting people take care of me in relationships. People with money scared me because for me, historically, the things I've seen in my family,
they still do.
But the things I've seen in my family is when people are taking care of you, they control you.
Yeah. That's true.
You
have
know?
to pay for it.
Exactly. You have to pay for it in someone. Like, it's not free. Like, people giving you money is not free. And me, I never wanted people to give me money. I'm like, what? I mean, I come with my own money. Let's go 50-50. Please, you'll not take 100%. So you can come tell me, oh, I did this for you. So you must, no. You will never own me, sir. No. But that's something I've been unlearning, you know, even letting my partner take care of me, even if it's something as small as him carrying my handbag, you know, something as small as that. Whereas before I was just like, yo, Miss Independent.
No, I got it.
You know, I'll do it by myself.
I got it.
And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with being and it feels nice, to be honest.
Feels nice.
It feels really good, you know. So yeah, I'm learning to be softer and to be taken care of.
And more accepting.
Yeah, exactly.
I think also if you're going to say that, then being taken care of, yes, it's great. But also, what is the intention behind it? What is this person who is saying they're taking care of you? What is their intention behind them taking care of you? Right? Do they genuinely mean well for you? Like, are they genuinely adding value into you and your life? Absolutely. But we have to be very careful out here that, you know, you're not just becoming dependent on someone and then suddenly, like you were saying earlier, you're in a hole, you're in a situation where you feel stuck, right? I'm here, how I got here, and I don't know how I'm going to get out of this situation. Yeah. So yes, being taken care of is absolutely beautiful. I also had to learn that as well, that you can and you should be taken care of by the person you're saying you love and they say they love you. But also, what is the intention behind it? Yeah.
And it takes maturity or it takes experience. And this is for also the younger girlies, for you to be able to understand if that situation serves you. Because then, look at it in this context. In your 30s and getting somebody who wants to spoil you, it's very easy for you to note this is dominating, this is controlling. But a 21-year-old girl, everything, this guy who's older than her, established more than her, financially secure more than her, for her, she's distilling it as, I'm being taken care of, I'm being spoiled. And I can even say as young as 18. Some of this, yes, very young. So you find for them, everything is tied to a financial support.
And that's how they get you.
And they interpret that as love. But that's actually grooming. And you now, your definition of love becomes so disturbed. You don't know what that looks like. The next thing you know, you're 18 and suddenly you're 10 years later, you've been with a man who's very controlling. You've not done anything individually. You have nothing to show for it. Your career is stalled, but you've been groomed into a certain position, into a certain submissive position throughout your life. So I think also praying for the grace to be able to know when situations are right for you, even from a younger age. It's very important because most of us can actually distill that when you're older. The younger girl I think it's very important to be grounded, to learn from people who have done it, to listen. Some people just give you advice, not because they're jealous of you, because when you're telling an 18-year-old who just got an
they don't want to hear shit.
Like, what you talking about?
There's nothing you can tell them.
What you like, it's like you're telling them, you know what, you're gonna blink and you're gonna be 30 and you have nowhere to start. If you wanna do this, just make sure you're setting yourself up. Like, don't lose yourself. So I think that's also important for the girlies to know.
I just thought I should say this. My mom once said to us, she was like, listen, my girls, if you do decide to get sugar daddies and stuff, just make sure you're taking that money and investing it.
Right.
Like, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna hold you back, but just, you're not gonna be beautiful always. You're gonna age, you know, like you're not gonna be the way that you are. You're not gonna be the same package. Take that money, invest it. And I was like, that's weird, coming from a Seventh-day Adventist mom.
She knew you want to listen when you're young. She might as well give you advice that you listen.
That would actually work. Yeah, true.
Yeah. All right. Now, our next round is just a quick random questions that I'll be just statements or questions.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll be either giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Okay.
We're closing the episode, and I'd like us to have a quick round just as a refresher. If you agree to it, you give it a thumbs up. If you don't, a thumbs down, and feel free to build onto it if you have any input. Right?
All right.
You ready?
Mm-hmm.
So it's true or trash.
Mm.
You should have your life figured out by 30.
Trash.
Trash.
What happened to
Trash. Oh, sorry.
And I want to say something about this. Remember early on, we're talking about how we're all here for the first time, right? We're living life for the 1st time. There's no way you can have your life figured out. Like you can always have your life. You can continuously figure out your life. Even in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, you could do whatever the hell you want to do, man. Like whatever you decide, you could do. You have free will, and it's okay. As long as you're not harming anyone or yourself as well. Yeah.
All right. 2. Dating gets easier after 30. 2 thumbs down. Lydia, want you?
Thumbs down. Easier. No. I disagree.
I don't know how to answer this.
Lydia is in love, right?
Even when I wasn't, though, like my methods were different.
I think the space that you've come from, for you it will be easier because you're more clear on your head. It's a healed version of you. Hence, you see things with clarity.
Also, by the way, I have no problem walking up to people I want, by the way. So that also makes...
So this is
Straight up.
This is where I'm coming from. This is where I'm coming from. The part that is not easy. Yes, I'm healed. Yes, I've worked on myself. Yes, I am comfortable with my life. I am happy. I am thriving. All of that. But there's the other side, right? This other person who externally looks like the ideal person that I want. Right? Because you meet a person physically first, right? You meet them, first. I like what I see. I'm happy. Okay. Dialogue. Okay. He can have a conversation. Okay. And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. But are they healed? Right? Are they where they want to be? See, addiction. And the thing is, we're so used to addiction being drugs and alcohol. There are so many other types of addiction.
We overlook those,
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm saying it's not easy from the perspective of, first of all, let me backtrack a little bit. Where so it's like I'm in my late 30s, right? I'm in my late 30s. And more than likely, the people that I'm looking to date are also either in their late 30s or early 40s or older, whatever, right?
You're not open to younger? That's
honestly, you have to be very mature. I mean, palpable maturity. I have to feel your maturity before you walk in that door. Because I'm not trying to raise nobody. I'm not trying to raise nobody's kid. Absolutely not. So I don't want to say yes to, but honestly, you will have to prove yourself a lot. So already I feel like I've already stacked things against you before I've even met you. So I guess it's the illusion that with age comes wisdom.
And that's not true, right?
Yes.
Not in all cases.
Definitely, yes.
Or maturity either. Maturity doesn't come with age.
I definitely know that because I've experienced that. But I would like to think, Kwamba, most of our grown men, I hope, at the very least, kuna baadhi ya vitu I don't have to worry and tell you, Kwamba, okay, mwanamke anatakiwa kuwa taken care of like this. Like basic things, like just basic things of putting in effort and whatever else. So you find a man who late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s. But they've also been through things. They've been through their things, and you find people who are now, I'll use the word jaded, right? So they've been through their share of things, broken relationships, maybe even broken marriages, right? So you meeting this person who has life experience, but maybe life has beaten him in certain ways, right? So how do you meet this person and then sit down and have this person be open and willing to, I don't know, I guess, try with you? So my experience is that dating does not become easier. You become wiser, sure, but does it become easier? Not necessarily.
Not if you consider looking downwards.
I'll-
My partner is 6 years younger than me.
You are brave.
Oh, you didn't know that?
So much mature. He's mature.
Yeah, and you've met him, right?
Yes.
Keyword.
You'd never
Maturity.
guess.
Someone whom, if I bring you to my family, my friends, they're gonna be like, Ila, unafani na mtoto. You know what I mean? So like, again, like I said, I'm not trying to raise nobody's son. Right? So if you are mature and umefikia level where you're like, but also if younger men, you definitely have to be able to handle me. Because I'm intelligent. I know who I am. I'm smart. I am settled. I've figured out how I want my life to be. I am happy where I am. I'm happy with where I'm going. You gotta be able to handle me. I will ask you questions. I will grill you. You gotta come correct. Like you can't. I tell you, smiling. You're cute. Yes, you're cute. And what else? Yes, you got money. And what else? What more? So I'm not saying no, like definitive no to younger men. I'm saying
it doesn't get easier.
Jipange. Haswa is all I'm saying. That's it.
I love that for you.
That was interesting.
Yes.
Okay. You can't restart your career at 35.
Oh,
You
that's
cannot.
trash.
You can't.
You can restart at any point, man.
Any point.
Yeah.
Okay. Women over 30 intimidate men. Thumbs up to that camera. I think women at 30, men, it's packaged as intimidation, but you're clear about what you want in life.
Yeah, I think I hesitated because of the word intimidation, because which is why men go for younger women, because they know that women 30 years and above are much wiser. They're not gonna fall for their bullshit.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So yeah, I guess that in that case, thumbs up.
Yes, I think intimidation, it's men just being insecure and not feeling that control.
So are we saying men in general at any age, or are we saying men of a certain age?
For me, I just feel...
Just men in general.
I feel men in general, very few, and that's why very few have got the understanding. They need to be of a certain either exposure, experience, the way they've been brought up. Something has got to click in that for them to be able to look at you like, okay, this lady like comes correct in Ila's words, and they're okay with that. They admire that. They feel like you can build something together. If you look at the back of the curtain, you'll find it's the way they've been brought up. They're exposed or experienced. There's just something. But the traditional Tanzanian man of submissive, there's a way you've got to be a wife. They find many women who are mature like, you're too loud. You're too hard-headed. You're too stubborn.
I got a lot of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you've been married, you've got to be submissive. So I think
maybe if I can break that down a little bit, is to say that I think be wary of... Are we talking too much?
No.
Okay. So like just be wary of a man that wants you to need him and a man that you simply want. There's a difference when you want someone and when you need someone. It's unfortunate that also my experience has been that you find people who they want you to need them. So yes, for those men who want a woman who needs them, definitely a woman who is secure, 30s or younger, whatever.
Intimidate.
Yes, it can be ile namwanzia wapi. Namwanzia wapi. Unaanza kupata title za matawi ya juu, unajisikia. Come on. You're not speaking my language.
Nice. Ladies are walk. It's crazy. All right. If you were to use one word to describe your life in your 30s so far, one word, how would you describe it?
I think amazing. I love my 30s, guys. Me, I'm here. I'm happy. I'm good.
Do you wish this could be longer even?
I wish it could be longer. I love it. I love it here.
One word? Chaos, but in a good way. Definitely chaos. A lot of ups and downs. A lot of learning and unlearning. Chaos.
I think mine will be daring. I took a lot of leaps and still taking them. So I've got a lot of 360s. So anything it's about daring. Why not? Why not? Let's say daring.
Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
2 more before we wrap up. So complete the sentence. The most overrated expectation placed on women is?
Motherhood.
That you should want to be a mother or you should want to be married. Like you should want that automatically because you're simply female.
Yeah.
Like you should just want that.
Marriage and motherhood take the cup.
But that's it. You expect it. Yes. Yeah.
Fair enough. Now last, if freedom had a sound to you right now, what would yours be?
Wind chimes. I love the sound of wind chimes. Yeah, I always have them at my house. I love the sound of wind chimes, like the sound of the wind against them, like that little metallic.
It's freedom.
I love it. Yeah, that's it for me.
For me, I'd be like, you know that feeling when you get home, you kick off your shoes and you take off your bra.
Yeah.
Yes, freedom. I can be me in my own space. 100% me.
Nice.
Just a long, drawn out sigh.
For me, it's the ocean, the waves.
Yeah.
Especially when like you're sleeping near the ocean or sleeping in a beach house or hotel that's near the waves. It's like my mind wanders into so many things. It's like a canvas. I think of so many things that I can do. I think it's the ocean for me.
Okay.
Ladies, thank you very much. We've come to the end of our episode. Is there anything that you want the people to know? Anything you want to add on? A sign or anything that you might have wanted to say throughout and you didn't get the chance to say it? Please go ahead.
I will say this. I will say something that I wish I was told when I was younger. No one has it figured out. Even the older sisters, the moms, like 40s, 50s, you're literally trying to figure it out at every single stage that you're at, right? So for me, I would say that as long as you wake up knowing what you're supposed to do that day, go with that, right? You wake up in the morning, you know, this is what I'm supposed to do today. Great. Do that. Repeat. And then eventually the picture will become clear. The puzzle will just be set.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, remind me the question. I had the answer and then it disappeared.
Anything you want to sign off with? Anything you want?
Oh, I was
to
going to
let us-
say, women, ladies, have your own money, guys. Like having money will change your life. It'll improve your life. It'll, man, just have your own money. Have your own money. Even if it's a little, just have your own money. Yeah.
All right.
I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming to the show today.
Yeah.
We look forward to hosting you again. And with that, thank you guys. It's been an interesting episode. I can't wait to hear your comments. I can't wait for you, to add into this and keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and see you sooner than later. Bye.